All right, welcome to Living Room Yoga edition number 2. This is another 25-minute sequence for you. Here we go. So we'll start standing at the top of your mat, and we'll just ease in with a few breaths. So let's root in through the feet. As you're standing here, you can start to stack your bones on top of one another. So just with your mind's eye, your knees are overneath your ankles, your hips are over your knees. Notice your pelvic bone if you tend to tilt it forward and back, and try to find that very center point. Stacking your shoulders on top of your hips, your ears over your shoulders. Sometimes that requires drawing your head back. And we'll begin with a few breaths here. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose or mouth. You can begin also by shifting your weight gently forward into your toes, back into your heels. Finding that center point. Nice. Let's take 3 more longer breaths here, preparing for your next 25 minutes. Here we go. In through the nose, out through the nose, trying to have a longer exhale than inhale. From here, let's inhale as we reach out and up towards the sky, looking to the hands as you reach. As we exhale, we'll draw the hands down by the sides. We'll do that 2 more times, matching your movement with your breath. As you inhale, we'll reach, look towards those hands. As you exhale, drawing them down. This last one, we'll find the longest breath we can, feeling the rib cage peel apart, open apart, and lift on up. This time as we exhale is bend in the knees as we reach it forward, spreading the floor away from you with your feet. As you inhale, let's lift our spine halfway up, really reaching the head forward, and then we'll exhale as you forward fold. Nice and slow, paying attention to every movement. We're rising all the way on up with an inhale. Exhaling as we draw it to center. Let's do that one more time. Inhaling as we reach out and up, warming up the breath with the movement. Exhaling as we fold it forward. Keep the spine nice and long. As you inhale, we'll reach the spine halfway, lifting. As you exhale, let's bend the knees, plant those hands, stepping on back into a plank position. Pausing here. Feel free to also drop the knees. Staying in that plank, draw the rib cage together, core is engaged. Shoulders are over the wrists. And from here on your next exhale, let's lower all the way to the belly. Nice and slow, elbows are in at the ribs. As you inhale, let's pull ourselves forward and up. So the nose and the chest moves forward and up. And then we'll exhale as we drape it back on down. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhaling, you're pulling yourself forward. Slight tuck of the tailbone as you lift. Expanding the front of the chest. We'll exhale as you lower. 1 more time. Inhaling. You can even plant your toenails into the floor, tucking of the tailbone slightly, pulling yourself on up. As you're ready, engage your core, draw your ribs together, pushing on back. Find a child's pose. Finding a breath here. Let's rise on up to hands and knees. As you inhale, let's lift head and tail towards the sky. As you exhale, drawing belly button towards spine, rounding the spine, pushing the hips back down towards the heels, child's pose. We'll drop the elbows to the floor, sliding yourself forward with an in-breath. Lifting, pushing into the floor, head and tail will rise, and then we'll exhale as we round, push on back. And we'll repeat like this. So dropping the elbows to the floor, slide your nose close to the ground like you're pushing a marble, all the way in between your fingers. From here, you'll lift head and tail as you push into the floor. And repeat, feeling the shoulder blades as they're sliding across the back. Beautiful. From here, let's rise on up to hands and knees, tucking your toes under, slowly straightening in the legs. Feel free to adjust your stance. You can walk your hands or feet out even further. Into your downward facing dog. From here, let's inhale as you lift both of the heels towards the sky. We'll exhale, lower those heels back towards the floor. One more time, we'll inhale as we lift. Exhale as you drop them towards the floor. From here, nice and slow, one step and then the other, we'll begin to walk ourselves towards the front of our mat. Feeling every step as you walk. Once you hit the top of your mat, let's inhale as we open up, reaching halfway, lengthen the spine. And we'll exhale as we forward fold. Inhaling, let's lift all the way tall, reaching out and up. Rib cage expands out and up. Looking towards those hands, we'll exhale as we draw it into center. We'll do that full thing, one salutation through. Let's inhale as we reach out and up, spreading the floor away from you with your feet. As we exhale, forward fold. Inhaling, we'll lift the spine halfway. Exhaling as you drop the hands, stepping on back. This time, keep on lowering with your out breath. Drop the knees or keep them lifted all the way to the belly. We'll inhale up, low cobra. You can even push a little bit higher, tucking that tailbone under though. And then exhale, engage your core as you tuck your toes back, pushing back to that downward facing dog. Deep breath in and out. Find length. Try to find a longer exhale than inhale here. From here, we'll inhale the heels towards the sky, bending in our knees, and then walking our way to the front of the mat. Once you arrive, we'll inhale, lifting halfway. Exhaling as we forward fold. Inhaling, we'll lift all the way to the sky. Spread the mat away from you with your feet. We'll draw the hands back into center. Great. One more time. We'll inhale as we lift and reach. Long spine, look towards those hands. Exhaling as we forward fold. Let's inhale, lift our spine halfway. Exhaling, plant those palms, stepping on back, floating on through. Down to the belly, we'll inhale as we lift. And exhale as we push on back, downward facing dog. Great, warming up the hip joint. Let's inhale as we lift the right heel towards the sky. From here, we'll stack the hips on top of each other, bend that right knee, and then circle that knee out to the right. Bring your hips parallel to the floor once again, straightening your leg behind you, lifting, stacking the hips as you open the knee out to the right. Realigning your hips as you straighten the leg back behind you. So we're creating big circles in that hip joint. One more here.
Lifting that leg on tall and then setting it down. Let's drop the knees to the floor. Knees can be wide. And we'll pause in a child's pose at the back of our mat. Finding a few breaths here, soften in the wrists. Breath into the back of the rib cage. Great. From here, spread those fingers wide. We'll lift back on up to our downward facing dog. Same thing on the other side. We'll inhale as the left heel lifts towards the sky. Then we'll stack the hips on top of one another. So open up the hips, knee will bend on out to the left. We'll bring the knee towards the floor, hips become parallel, reaching it back behind you, and repeat. Big circles with that hip joint. So we're rotating the hips on up, knee comes out to the side, keep it high, lowering it to the floor, and one more time. Great. From here, let's begin to walk ourselves to the front of the mat. We'll inhale as we lift halfway. Exhaling, forward fold. And inhaling, we'll lift all the way tall towards the sky. Drawing the hands through center. From here, let's bend our knees nice and deep, scooping those hands towards the floor, then towards the sky. As you exhale, let's draw the elbows down towards the ribs. Again, we'll straighten the legs. Lift towards the sky. As we sit down, slide those elbows towards the ribs. One last time. Great. From here, let's scoop our hands towards the floor, making balls with our fists. We'll inhale as we reach the tops of the fists towards the sky. Bottoms of the fists, so we're bending the wrist back behind us, like you're blowing a big sheet and placing it on your bed. Just mobilizing the wrists one last time. Nice. From here, let's lift our arms nice and tall as we lift the left leg off of the mat. From here, stepping it back behind us, finding our warrior one position. Hips are facing forward. Back foot is all the way down on the mat. If possible, the foot is at a 45-degree angle. We'll reach tall with those arms, rooting through the outer edge of that back foot. Let's find a breath in as we reach up tall, and then as we exhale, we're reaching forward, reaching back with our fingertips as our head tilts forward. We'll inhale, pushing into that front foot as we lift all the way tall. Let's do two more. Warming up the strength of the legs. Last one. Circling in our shoulders, we'll lift all the way tall. This time, let's open on out to a warrior two stance. So the back foot kind of turns so it's parallel to the back of your mat. We'll take our front fist, place it on the outside of your knee. Press that knee against that fist so the knee is angled right over the toes. Realign your spine. Let's inhale as we straighten the front leg. Reaching tall, we'll exhale, bending in that front knee. Going as deep as feels comfortable for you. Maybe you need to widen your stance to make sure that that knee is not going way over the toe. We'll do one more. From here, reverse that top palm. We'll reach forward, up and overhead. One breath here. As we exhale, we'll begin to nice and slow cartwheel those hands down. The back heel will lift off the mat. Dropping the back knee to the floor, we'll rise up, low lunge. As we exhale, let's shift the hips forward, planting our hand on our front knee. Reaching up and over towards that knee. Again, we'll reach tall. One more time, over. Deep into those hip flexors, we'll reach tall. And then exhaling as we plant the palm. Plant the other palm on the inside of that right foot. And then we'll slide it on back, finding a child's pose for a moment. Let's rise back on up to hands and knees. From here, we'll reach back behind us with the right foot, sliding that foot all the way out to the right. From here, planting in your left hand, we'll open on up, reaching towards the sky. As we exhale, we'll rotate, sliding that right arm underneath the left. 2 more times. Inhale like you have a rubber band. You're pulling it towards the sky. Deep breath in, pushing into that lower hand. As we exhale, we'll rotate. You can drop that hand to the floor. Feel free to bend the arm that's on the floor to lower yourself lower, or you can also stay high. One last time. Beautiful. From here, let's rise all the way, lift. We'll pause, reaching towards the sky, really press through that bottom hand. And then exhaling, dropping that hand to the floor. Beautiful. Let's slide that leg back behind us. Dropping the knee, we'll tuck the toes. Downward facing dog. Let's find a breath here. Inhaling as we lift those heels. Bending in our knees, stepping to the front of your mat. We'll inhale as we lift. Exhaling as we fold. Inhaling as we rise all the way tall. Dropping the hands through center. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Let's inhale as we lift our right knee up towards the sky, finding a one-leg balance for a moment. Then we'll step on back, finding our warrior one position, rooting on the outer edge of that back foot. We'll inhale, finding our warrior one shape. Strong legs, finding a breath here. As you exhale, tilting it forward, reaching back with those fingers. Inhale, scooping them forward and up. Take your time with this. You can always just pause in shapes if you prefer. One last time, we'll fold it forward. This time, as you inhale and you reach towards the sky, let's open on up, warrior two. Yep. Taking that front fist, press that knee against the fist, strong engagement so you have that external rotation and torque in that front leg. Let's inhale as we lift, straightening the front leg, reaching to the sky. Exhaling, bending on down. Find the strength in that warrior two. 2 more times. Feel free to play with how the hands move through space. Find your own flow here. As you exhale, let's reach our hand palm towards the sky, reaching forward, up and overhead. One breath here. Exhaling as we slowly cartwheel those hands to the floor, dropping the back knee onto the mat. We'll rise on up, low lunge. Exhaling, hips slightly shift as we drop the hand to the knee. Reaching up and over to the left. Inhaling as we rise it on up. One more time. Lifting on up. Exhaling. As we drop those hands down, let's slide the foot on back, child's pose for a moment. Rising back on up to hands and knees, we'll reach back with that leg, left leg, sliding it out to the side. We'll plant in our hand. Let's push and twist our bottom arm into the floor as we spiral on up, reaching towards the sky like you're peeling open a rubber band. Exhaling as we rotate. Inhaling as we open. Exhaling as we rotate. Last one, reaching tall. Exhaling as we rotate. And then last one, we'll reach towards the sky, pausing here. Exhaling as we drop that hand to the floor. Let's slide our foot back behind us, placing the knees underneath us, pushing all the way back. Find your child's pose once again. Finding your breath, lengthen the spine. Beautiful. From here, let's rise on up to our knees. Bringing our feet around us, we'll find straight legs in front of us. Let's reach tall, finding an in-breath here. As we exhale, we'll forward fold, but then we'll inhale, reaching on back like you're on a rowing machine, pulling back, lifting up and over. We'll do 3 more. Inhaling as you lift up and over. Exhaling as you fold. Beautiful. From here, let's widen our legs. Now we're in a wide-legged position. Let's lift tall. We'll exhale as we fold it forward, maybe just slightly. Once again, we'll inhale as we lift. The legs can be as wide as you can have them. I'm limited with my living room. One more time. Great. From here, let's rise on up. We'll take one foot into one straight leg. We'll lift up and over, reaching towards that straight leg foot. Let's rise back on up. We'll do 2 more. Lifting up and over. Lateral bend with the spine. Restocking everything each time. Switching sides. One leg straight, one leg bent, reaching towards that straight leg ankle, lifting up and over. Exhaling. Draw it back to center. Using your breath, finding your own flow and rhythm. We'll do 1 more here. Beautiful. All right, one leg, keep this leg bent. The other leg will bend it on back. Finding our shin box position. Let's take our hands in the middle here, drawing your shoulder blades back. Check in with your knees. You might need to put some padding underneath your knees. If this hurts at all, just stay here. Folding forward is just fine. However, you can attempt. We'll inhale as we lift on up. Engage your glutes. Exhaling as you circle sweep the arms down, dropping the hips. We'll do that 2 more times. Strengthening our ability to have this external rotation. 1 more time. Beautiful. The same hand as that front knee. Let's reach back behind us. We'll scoop the hips forward and up. Reaching overhead and dropping it back on down. Let's slightly twist the body just gently, and then we'll do the same thing, lifting up and over. Exhaling as we drop. One last time, aware of the spine as it's moving through space. Beautiful. From here, let's take the feet to the floor in front of us, and then we'll switch sides. Same thing, shin box lifts on the other side. We'll inhale as we engage the glutes, reaching tall. Exhaling as we set it back down. We'll do 2 more. Again, if this hurts you in any way, you can just come here. Shin box leans. Especially if we've been sitting a lot. This is just moving our hips, in a direction that they perhaps may have not moved. Awesome. From here, let's take that front arm, reaching it back behind, sweeping the hips on up high, up and over. Exhaling as we set them down. Small twist in the opposite direction and repeat. Use that breath. Last one. Exhaling it down. Beautiful work. All right. From here, let's make our way on to our back. Knees are lifted towards the sky. Let's plant our feet to the floor. We'll rise on up to a bridge pose. So from here, drag those heels towards the glutes. We'll lift the hips towards the sky. Pausing here, let's take an in-breath as we sweep the arms up and overhead. The backs of the hands will touch the floor behind you. Exhaling, as you lower the hands back underneath you, keep the hips high. One more time, inhaling as you lift. You're pulling the heels towards the glutes. Exhaling as we drop on down. And then lowering the hips to the floor. From here, let's lift the shins up towards the ceiling. Placing your hands on top of your knees, press those knees into the hands. Inhaling as we reach, left hand, left foot away from one another, reaching long. Exhaling, drawing it back together, other side. Keep pressing, hand into knee, arm is all the way straight. We'll inhale as we reach. Exhale, draw it back together. A couple more times on each side. Core is engaged. Reaching long. And drop those feet to the floor once you've done both sides. You can begin to rock those knees left and right. Great work. All right. That is the end of your 25-minute practice. However, we'll close by straightening in the legs, straighten those arms down by your sides. You can find your final resting position here on your back. Perhaps taking your hands underneath your skull and pulling up like you're trying to pull your head away from your body. Up, 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 lengthen that cervical spine. Dropping the back of the skull down. Placing hands wherever on your body feels nourishing for you. We'll take one breath in, one breath out. Relax in the shoulders. And that is the end of your practice. Great work.